Morning, everybody. This is Monty. I'm with Paint the Town, Missouri, or Paint the Town, Columbia, whichever you want to call it. So we're paintthetowncolumbia.com on the interweb, and we are on the Facebook, Paint the Town, Missouri. So we travel around, been doing this for about 9 years. We travel around central Missouri, offering paint classes at various restaurants, wineries, and bars, and more. So every once in a while, when I have time, and I have a little bit more time this morning, I like to do an online session. So today I'm going to redo a painting I did in the past. It's basically a nice spring painting. It's Fireflies in a jar. So we're going to try to be a little bit more creative with it than I have in the past and have a good time. It's morning, so a little energy drink helps out. All right, so we're going to do an acrylic painting, and we're going to use this basic colors. You want to use your primary colors. I'm not going to use any yellow in this right away, so it's not on the palette quite yet. I'll get that in a bit. But for the background, our night sky, we're going with a blue, red, green, black, and some white, because you might want to put a little moon up there. So that's what we're going to try to do this time with this painting. We're going to do our entire background. We're going to go kind of dark and then get towards the moon, and then come back out a little bit with a glow. So what we're going to do is we're going to find a nice big brush to do this background with. Here's a big one. Make sure there's no glitter in it. All right. Now, a lot of times what I'll do is I need to darken some colors. So, for example, my blue is a very vibrant cobalt blue. I got to darken it up a little bit, so I'll put a little red in there, and it'll make it kind of a purple, and that'll darken it up slightly. You can even add a tiny bit of black in it to help darken it up, and that's going to give me a darker kind of a blue tone. All right, and then what I want to do is way over here, my plan is I have a little moon up here in the corner. My mason jar is going to be over here in this section of the painting. So I want to go dark to light, and I'm just going to have some fun with this brush stroke. In the past, I taught this where, you know, you would do these ovals and keep it circular around. So I want to go dark to light, and I'm just going to have some fun with this brush stroke. In the past, I taught this where, you know, you would do these ovals and keep it circular around your moon, but we're not going to do that today. Now see how I am also letting each of the colors show up. I got blues, almost blacks, my purples, and even almost reds showing up here. And I'm okay with that, but I want to stay dark, way out away from the moon. And I'm actually just doing these little checks. Little checks. Check, 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 check. I want a little more color, like a little brighter area up here. I can add that purple back in. Maybe a little bit more of that blue. La, la, la. Yeah, that's looking pretty good, I think. Can you see it okay? I'm not silhouetted too much, I hope. The sun's starting to move on me. We'll turn that just a wee bit. There. Try to get a little bit better light. All right, like I said, if I want a little bit more color in the sky, I can do that and come back down here at the bottom and darken this up, keep it dark down away from the moon. We're going to brighten it up as we get closer to the moon, right? Maybe I want a little green down here, just a little. That's where my grass is going to be, so a little background green down here didn't hurt. Keep it dark. Blue green down here. Kind of fade that up. Now, to avoid getting like really browns, I'll kind of run out of paint. And then I'll go back to my blues, reds, and little blacks in here too. Keep it dark. Spread that paint out. Now we're going to get a little bit brighter color using less of that black as we work our way towards the moon. More of the, maybe a little bit more red, make it more purple. Dark again down here a little bit. Pick up some of that darker black. There we go. Let's go brighter again. Let's get a little bit more purple right here. Get more blue. We're getting closer to the moon, right? You see the moon's right there. Circle it with a little bit brighter color. La, la. All right, so I got all of there. It's kind of, I don't want to overwork it, because if I overwork it, it's just going to blend these colors together. But I do want to make sure that canvas is covered. Now, I personally like brush strokes, but if you don't like brush strokes, you don't have to have brush strokes. If you want to brighten up the colors a little bit, you can put a little bit more green down here. Just don't overwork it. All right, and then what we'll do is we'll wash and dry our brush. Set this down. Got a little breezy, so I want to make sure nothing gets blown away. I'll wash my brush really well. Swish it. I don't like to squeeze dry my brushes. I don't whack them on these. I'll play whack-a-mole. All right, let's go for an inch, a little bit. I don't like to squeeze dry my brushes. I don't whack them on these. I'll play whack-a-mole. All right, let's go for an inch, a little bit smaller brush. Squirrels like me painting. And we're gonna take our moon and bring it out. So, clean brush. Fill this up with some white paint. And once I hit the color, just stay out. Now, you can be as blendy as this as you want, but I do keep the brush strokes at this point circling my moon, make it seem like that glow is just going around the moon. Now, I can make this as bright as I want to, but I don't want to go too bright because I still want it nice and dark everywhere else for that jar and my fireflies, right? Put my moon in there. Wash and dry my brush again. Got my rag here. I need a little table. Beautiful day. I'm up here on Murphy Hill, Central Missouri. That's looking south on our property. All right, I'm just letting this get a little bit tacky. Don't want to work it too soon. How's that look so far to you? Gotta look at what you're seeing. Not bad. A little light right there. It's no problem. Make it look like there's a glow. We can put a firefly there, maybe. All right. Now what we're going to do now is I'm going to switch to a chisel brush. Hope I have one. Yeah, there's one right there. All right. Those were just big flat brushes. This is a nice chisel brush. It's only a 3/8 inch chisel brush. And we're going to put our mason jar in here. And you might want to start with a mid-tone and not get too bright. We'll put some whites on top of it. So I might start with like a baby blue or some lavenders. So I'll mix a little baby blue together. Anytime you mix acrylic, it's best to take the dark color to the edge of the light color. Don't try to darken the light color. It's going to take a lot. A little red to warm that blue up a bit. Now, say we have this mason jar. It's setting down here in the grass, and we'll put grass, more detailed grass in this painting too, but we gotta have this mason jar setting in the grass first. So a lot of times I will imagine where I want it to be. I want a nice, decent sized mason jar. And wait a second, let's have a little fun. I wanted to put more detail on this, right? So far it's getting just a little bit different than before, but we're gonna add more detail. Let's put Let's put some silhouetted tree limbs in this thing, right? So taking some black, and then we can add some color on it, but it's black right now. Imagine there's a silhouetted tree limbs in this thing, right? So taking some black, and then we can add some color on it, but it's black right now. Imagine there's a tree limb. Going up here. And I make them kind of bent, and what I'll do is I'll thicken her up on the way back, and then I'll add more limbs. I'm just using this backwards, using the brush with the tip follows behind. You know, there might be another limb coming out this way. Right? Another limb up here. I could even have limbs over here in the sun a little bit, or in the moon. Let's make a longer one. I want to go a little longer. Use your canvas up, it helps the design. Maybe there's a tree limb hanging a little bit here. Like that. I like that, that's pretty good. Maybe there's some leaves on it here and there. Maybe there's a lot, but maybe there's some leaves. And making leaves is not about attaching them to the limb or making leaf shapes, because leaves are a different shape because they curl up and whatever else. There might be a clump of them here and then kind of open up a bit. Maybe I have some leaves on this tree. Now, the reason why I don't necessarily attach every one of these leaves to the tree is, well, there's limbs we can't see. We didn't paint. There's more on a limb than this 2 or 3 leaves, or 2 or 3 limbs. We're going to put some color on this later, right? Right now, it's a silhouetted part. You still recording for me? Yep, good. Maybe some leaves on these trees over here. Now, another thing this helps is it actually keeps allowing my painting to dry a little bit for when I add my mason jar. That was a kind of a side positive there I just thought about. It's kind of nice. All right. Now we're going to come back, like I said, and add more color on this. Some more limbs. Let me cross over here some. Now, it's important that you step back from your painting every once in a while. Kind of see how it develops. I'll wash and dry this brush. Now, it's important that you step back from your painting every once in a while. Kind of see how it develops. I'll wash and dry this brush. Okay. All right, so now let's work on this jar. Made some baby blue, added a little red to warm it some. Now, like I said, you want to kind of picture where it is. So this jar is setting down this grass. These are limbs off in the distance. And, you know, I could open up the lid, make it rounder at top, or just do the side view. The easiest for maybe if you don't draw is doing the side view. So what I'll do is I'll first kind of make the overall shape, but I'll leave the corners open because I want to round them off. All right, so now let's work on this jar. Made some baby blue, added a little red to warm it some. Now, like I said, you want to kind of picture where it is. So this jar is setting down this grass. These are limbs off in the distance. And, you know, I could open up the lid, make it rounder at top, or just do the side view. The easiest for maybe if you don't draw is doing the side view. So what I'll do is I'll first kind of make the overall shape, but I'll leave the corners open because I want to round them off. So I'm just going to draw this overall shape of my jar. All right. And then what I can do is I can just round that off some. All right. And then maybe the mason jar has a lid, not a lid, but an opening for a lid. And then it also has the little the tightening lines. It could be some reflections on the glass. I'm doing this still in baby blue or lavenders. Could be light greens too, because I might be picking up different things. But at least I know where my jars are, right? Now, I can wash and dry this brush again. Make sure it's dry. And what we're going to do is now brighten that up. We're going to add some white, mostly on the side of the moon. So up here on this top light side here. We're going to brighten that up there. Brighten up this top left side here. Maybe add a nice highlight there, here. Top edge here. Get the inner side down in here. Like that. And see how it's getting that jar to pop off the canvas a little bit. Then what I'll do is get myself some yellow. I haven't got my yellow yet. Mix it with some white, brighten it up. Not much. Mostly yellow. And maybe we're going to put some fireflies. And there's different ways I do this. One of the ways I do it is I just put a little dot here and there where I want a firefly. Maybe there's some tiny ones way off in the distance. Maybe some up close. Maybe some up closer ones. Bigger dots. And what I want to do is I'll wash and dry this brush. Make sure it's dry. And clean. And some of these ones up front, I'm just going to swirl them. And we're going to put the color back in here in a minute. We'll make them look like fireflies again. Want more of them? You want one a little close up here. One up here. And I'm okay with seeing through this. It's all right to see through it. It's a glow, right? Because I'm going to come back and add more color to it. And there's some more small fireflies just in the trees here and there. There's another one right here, bigger. More in the trees. Little fireflies off in the distance. Now, what I want to do is, like I said, I want to brighten up the centers of those again. So let's put a nice bright dot color back in the center of these glows. That's these fireflies glowing off. And maybe, maybe this jar, since it got fireflies, has a little reflection of yellow. Okay, picking up some color. All right. I can even have maybe a few stars out there. I don't know. What if I had a star out there, or a shooting star? A few stars. Watch me dry my brush. Take some white paint. And a few stars here and there. And I'm okay with seeing through this. It's all right to see through it. It's a glow, right? Because I'm going to come back and add more color to it. And there's some more small fireflies just in the trees here and there. And there's another one right here, bigger. More in the trees. Little fireflies off in the distance. Now, what I want to do is, like I said, I want to brighten up the centers of those again. So let's put a nice bright dot color back in the center of these glows. That's these fireflies glowing off. And maybe, maybe this jar, since it got fireflies, has a little reflection of yellow. Okay, picking up some color. All right. I can even have maybe a few stars out there. I don't know. What if I had a star out there, or a shooting star? A few stars. Watch me dry my brush. Take some white paint and a few stars here and there. Some stars. If you're so inclined, put a shooting star out there, right? Hardest thing about stars or anything else is being random with it, trying to avoid same size, same distance apart on everything. Now, I mentioned that this jar is sitting down in the grass, right? So what we'll do is make some dark green first. We're gonna layer my green, give myself some depth from the grass. So maybe we're gonna do some dark grass first. Let's take some black and green, mix it together slightly here. Let's put some grass down here. This is a dark layer of grass first. Darker grass. Almost black. Give myself some contrast down here. This is some really dark green grass. Almost black. Okay. You can even sort of go in front of some of these fireflies that are a little bit farther away. Now the ones in front, I skip around. Now this grass is behind this jar, so I don't want to put the dark grass in front of the jar, but it might come up from behind it. You see a little bit inside. Have this here. Grass, dark grass growing. Different lengths are important. Some different shades of that dark green. Sometimes it's a little lighter, sometimes it's a little darker. All right. Like I said, see, to go right in front of a couple of those fireflies are farther away. All right. Get some different lengths to these grass. All right, now what I'll do is brighten up my foreground grass. We're going to go yellow-green, so I'm going to wash and dry this brush really again. Squeeze dry. Bit of energy drink. Just put some of the brighter grass. How I do that is I'll take some green and do this really bright yellow. We're gonna add some really bright grass down here. Just gonna brighten up some grass. Now this grass is up close, so it goes in front of my jar. Now, if you're so inclined, you can put glitter in your grass, make it seem like it has some dew, right? Now what if we wanted to add a little color back into our tree? So maybe I can come back, add a little green, yellow green even, where maybe the moon is lightening up some of my leaves. Let's go green. I don't get too much yellow. I'll hide my fireflies, right? Green, stick with green. You see how this can give us some more color back in our dark silhouette? Green over here, brighten up some of these. Just adding some green leaves. That dark layer we put gives us some depth. All right. Now you can go as far as you can put mason on the jar if you want. And leave it just a regular jar, generic jar. Put your last name on it. You might even add a little a dark to it. You know, I want a little dark in here, so I can add a little black. It's, you know, even a glass will pick up a little darkness. How's that? I kind of like it. Something different than I've done, but in the same vein as what I've done, because I want to schedule this painting again. I want to make sure that I have something different with it. Yeah, I need more fireflies right here. Let's put another firefly in there. Step back from you. Another way you can do this also is you take a picture of your painting. Bright yellow right in the middle. There we go. All right, what do you think? You know, I can add more things in. I can make buildings in the background. I can add texture to my moon if I wanted to. There's all kinds of things you can actually do. Well, I hope you had a good time with me with this quick painting. Make sure you look us up on Facebook. We're Paint the Town, Missouri. We travel around. If we're in your area, join us for a class. So, thanks a lot.
You know, instead of waiting for a good day to happen, you know, waiting around through ups and downs, you know, I just said, look.